Hey, this is Dan taking you to the midnight hour tonight. I've got a very great guest tonight, and Yngwie Malmsteen. Obviously, Yngwie, your new album, Perpetual Flame, just came out in October. And hey, any tour dates lined up anytime soon?
Well, we're booking some more tours now. We just this summer we did, it's before the album was out, but this summer we did all the festivals in Europe, and we did the European thing, and then we did like 5 weeks in the States, right around the release of the record, and that was great. But obviously we're gonna do a lot more, and we have Japan. We're going to do Japan with Deep Purple, actually, in spring, and then South America and Australia. Then we're going to do the States around the summer. So look out for YngwieMalmsteen.com, and we'll come somewhere near you guys whenever, I mean, as soon as possible. I personally love to tour the States most. It's just that it seems like they want me everywhere. So
Right now, that's because the album is awesome, man. I think Damnation Game is really cool. I'm really down with that song a lot. In fact, I was watching someone play. I was watching someone play it on Rock Band yesterday. They couldn't do it.
Yeah. How did that go, man?
They couldn't do it.
That's so funny, man. I gotta see that.
And you got the Hollywood Rock Walk thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
Well, I mean, it was. The funny thing is that was the middle of a tour. I was doing a tour in all over America at the time. And it's very surreal, things like that. Because I remember when I was just a teenager, I first came to the States, and I used to walk around, around those parts and look in guitar stores and stuff. And I didn't really know what was going to happen because I just came on a, taking a chance really to come around, to the States and everything. And it's really remarkable that after all these years, it's like, going on, Perpetual Flame, dude. It just doesn't stop, man.
And you got the Ripper Tim Owens on vocals now. How'd you guys gel?
Well, we've known each other for a long time. I mean, we did something back in 2000, or maybe it was 98 or 99 or something like this. We did something, and that wasn't like proper in the sense where we were in the same studio and stuff like that. But he knew of me, I knew of him. And what happened was I write the songs, all the songs I write, the lyrics and everything. So what happened was I was touring with a previous singer, and we were on the road, and I go back and I record, and we go, with a drummer, and I do some songs. Then we go back on the road, and the album is starting to get finished. But he has never heard the songs or nothing, because I don't play nothing for anybody until it's their turn to play on it. And so more and more as the songs started taking shape, like Death Dealer and Live to Fight Another Day and all those songs, Priest of Another Holy, because I write, as I said, I write the melodies and the lyrics also, for the singer,
yeah.
So I realized that Doogie wasn't going to be the right guy for the job, So I didn't know who to use at first, but then everybody was suggesting Tim. I invited him down to Miami. He came down to my studio. I showed him a couple of songs. He recorded them. We recorded them then, and it sounded, So obviously, that was the right thing to do,
Yeah, let me take that segue and go into some of your lyrics, because I'm really impressed with a lot of the stuff that you have on the new album. I mean, you have Magic City, which is a song that you sing. Some of the lyrics, I sailed away into the sun across the blue sea. Magic City is my home where I want to be forevermore. Is this sort of about you coming over here? Is this sort of getting that off your chest? Talking about what you were feeling?
Well, the song, the way I like to write lyrics is that, I like when people interpret it any way you like. For instance, the Damnation Game, like you talked about, that's actually a story by Clive Barker,
Okay.
And, Clive Barker, the Hellraiser thing,
yeah.
He wrote a book called The Damnation Game. And I love that book so much, I wrote another song a couple albums back called Razor Eater. That's a right from that book also. So, but, I did an interview with some Germans the other day, and one of the lyrics go like, the European I had to fight, the European all his life, because the villain in the book is called Mamulian, but it's also called the last European, but you couldn't say Mamulian, this sounds weird. So I used it, I'll play with words. So when I do the lyrics, I play with words, So the guy's like, you don't like Europeans then, huh? No. This is a story by Clive Barker. I try to explain it, but everybody gets their own view on the song. Now, the song Magic City is actually, it's about Miami. Miami is the Magic City.
Okay.
That's when you watch the news, like in whatever New York, they say, well, here in the Big Apple we have so and so degrees, whatever, and in Miami, they have the Magic City. So I love Miami, so I wrote a song about it.
Yeah, Priest of the Unholy has some really deep stuff in there. You know,
Priest Unholy, yeah, that's a dark song, man.
Yeah, Born Out of Fire, Evil Rising. Now we must pay the price. I mean, I was really compelled to read that one a couple of times over. Anything you want to say about that one?
Well, that was, as I said, that's kind of a symbolic song again. Mm-hmm. That's not directly like Magic City and the Damnation. I can say right away where I draw the inspiration there. But with this, it's Priest Unholy. I wrote the song and the riff, and I knew it's gonna be really hot, like a heavy, kind of dark song, and it had to be having lyrics that fit with it. So I like, I've always been into the occult and stuff like that when I was younger and all that. But it's more or less a story about evil, because evil does exist.
Yeah.
And it could, some people have different views on that. What is evil and what is not evil, but as I said, it's open for interpretation.
Yeah, perception's a big part of music.
But I like words that just the word itself like paints a picture, like just the word priest of the unholy, just that. I mean, the word, the sentence. It's like, whoa, what's that about? Or like in a couple of albums back, I wrote a song called Valhalla, which is about the Vikings, how they want to die in battle because that way they get to live with the gods in Valhalla, right? So that's another subject that's really cool to write about, And so, I do that. But then Red Devil is about Ferraris, so I don't put just one subject in there, But I've learned one thing, and that is when I've done records, and I've been in the past, I might have been a little lazy, and I'd say, okay, let the singer write something. And the singer writes, hey, come on, baby, let's do it tonight. Yeah, baby, yeah, girl, come on, I'm like, dude, I mean, it's not like I don't want to get it on with with my woman, but do I have to write a song about it? It's ridiculous, man. It's so no imagination, and so I made the mistake of letting people do that, and then since then, drawn the conclusion. I mean, lyrics is where I spend the most time anyway, I mean, I really, really spend, I have a pad with me all the time, and always write down little lines and rhymes and little, quotes and stuff like this, and when it comes to do the record, I look at all his titles and stuff like this, and I the song, the Damnation Game, the lyric for that was actually meant to be on another song at one point, and and you work with it. It's like it's a big puzzle, So because the music itself is very natural to me, it just comes. I just pick up the guitar and there it is,
And Yngwie, you've done a great job with the lyrics on this one. I mean, it's real poetic. It's real, I could get into every song really, and there's like you probably said, an issue of perception as far as people are going to view it, but it's really deep, really good stuff. When you write your music, do you compose the music first and then you come up with the lyrics based on sort of the emotion of the song, or do you kind of have a theme in mind and then you build the music around that?
Well, the way the songs come around, virtually all the time, it's some exceptions, but is that I have the luxury of owning 2 studios, and one of them is just right in the house, and it's not a home studio, it's a real studio where we make the albums, but it just happens to be in there. But I have the luxury to have it all the time. So when I sit in front of the TV and I watch the news or watch whatever, History Channel, and I just sit and I have a guitar and a Marshall there, and I just sit and play, and I hear a riff comes out naturally, it just happens, and I run up and I record it. I put it down, the drum beat, whatever, and I put the riff down, and if I get really inspired, I complete the whole thing. Otherwise, I just document it, so to speak. Now, when I have all those things, like maybe 20, 30 CDs of this stuff, I go to another studio, which is a couple miles up the road, where I have it's like a sound stage, and I record the live drums in there, and I decide which songs to do, and I arrange them and everything, and put the drums, and I take those drives back to my place, and I finish it there. And as it goes along, I have these mixes and these little songs in the car, and I listen to the song. The song tells me, when I hear the music, what the lyrics are going to be about, An upbeat, happy song like Red Devil you know, you can't have lyrics like Death Dealer, you know, in that song. So that's a really cool song. I dedicated that to my Ferraris instead, you know, like the good times I have with just running around in those cars, you know. So it's sort of, there's not a set way, but it's kind of, in a way, it kind of turns out to be that way, you know.
Yeah.
And then I basically make demos of it, you know, where I have I program the drums, and I show it to the drummer, and I say, play like this. And he's really, really good. So
Patrick Johnson.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
is.
did that even with Cozy Powell, you know, and those guys like Tommy Aldrich and all the guys I've had in the band, you know. So I'm a bit of I guess I'm worked a little bit like the old style classical composers, you know. Like when Bach wrote a suite, he didn't let the cello player go in and say, "Oh, I'd like to play this note." No, this is the note, and it seems to be the best way for me. I'm saying for a lot of other people, of course, that's not the way to do it, you know. But for me, I found that's the only way it really works, you know. But which of course entails an extreme amount of work, you know. I put a lot of work into it because I even engineered this album as well. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So.
WNYO, you're listening to Yngwie Malmsteen here. I mentioned Patrick before did an awesome job on this album. He really was cranking it out. What was the for Perpetual Flame? You know, what's sort of the driving force behind it? You know, was there any sort of like theme or, you know, personal issue that happened in your life that really wanted to get you in the studio and just crank out some really you know, hard stuff?
No, I mean the songs just came naturally during. Okay, normally what you do is, what I've done at least in the past is like you do things in cycles where you do a tour. Let's say chicken or egg, which one comes first? But let's say we start with a tour. I come back from a tour, which was based on an album that was done previously, right? So I come back from a tour and I sit down and it's okay. Now I'm going to spend a couple months just write songs. So I sit and write songs, I make demos, and then I go into the live room. I recorded the live drums, and then I go back to the studio and I put bass guitars, you know, I write the lyrics and I put the bass guitars, keyboards down, the vocals, and I mix it. Then I go out on tour on that album. This time around, I was on tour, I came back, I recorded the drums, we recorded the drums only, then I went back on tour. Then I came back and I did some guitars and wrote some lyrics, and this is how the whole thing turned out, because Doogie was still in the band, you know, as these songs started coming around. And it wasn't, I didn't say, okay, now I'm going to write heavy metal, or now I'm going to write blues, or whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. It was just totally natural.
What do you
in the past, I've made efforts to make records like Sun records, like, for instance, Alchemy, I decided I just want to make kind of like, almost like, deliberately very non-commercial kind of thing. And then Face an Animal was deliberately kind of song-oriented. And then War Eternal Wars was deliberately dark and kind of like metal-y, you know.
Yeah.
And I've made records deliberately like that in the past, but the last couple albums I decided to just let it happen, you know, and whatever comes out, comes out. So I found out, though, that, you know, last 2 years I've become way more focused, you know, than in the past. In the past, I was always, you know, confused, and, you know, there was a lot of distractions, you know, whatever, drinking and all that shit, whatever. And so that was a bad thing. It was an obstacle. I was always doing something to stop or you know, impede the work. And this time the last few times, it's been like really focused. So I think that reflects in the music, and funnily enough, it seems to get like harder and heavier. I don't know why. That wasn't deliberate though.
What do you see, Yngwie, with the you know, like the rock music scene right now, when you tour and everything? Do you think, you know, that rock music's in a healthy state right now, or, you know, what are you seeing with the new bands and everything? You happy with the styles and the trends?
Well, I mean, I don't really know the trend, because it's not like it used to be, where it was a certain sound. You know, in the 80s it was a certain sound. You know what would be on the radio, and in the 90s it was the grunge thing. You knew that was the sound, but now there is not a sound.
Right.
It's not a sound that's okay. That's the way. And so with especially with all these new games and stuff, and also the internet, it's become a much more diverse thing. But ultimately, I must say, which I'm very, very glad to say, is that the scene, of course, has become, since 10 years ago, I mean, night and day. Now, hard rock, metal, whatever, I mean, if it's old stuff, new stuff, doesn't matter. People just eat it up. And I love it. I mean, it's great for me, you know. And the whole guitar playing things, like everything, it's cool to play a guitar player again, you know. Whereas, like, let's say, you know, during the mid-'90s, that was not the thing, you know, in America. And so, of course, I see a big difference. And I see it's become... That's why I'm not opposed to these video games, because I think they're really a good introduction for the kids. For the music, A, and B, even to maybe even start playing themselves. So no, I think it's all really good. I'm super happy with what's going on right now, you know.
Excellent. Well, hey, I watched a clip with you in the old Fender warehouse, and they were doing your next custom guitar, which I think just came out like a week ago, right?
Yeah, 28. Yeah.
Yeah,
that. I mean, I've always had the Fender guitars.
Oh yeah.
But this is a special one. This is the special one that made only 100. You know, examples of it, and it's scary. This thing is, I mean, it's frightening, you know. I mean, I've had that guitar for 30 years, okay, and I sent it to, well, they actually came and hand carried it to the factory to copy it, right? And then, I don't know, right before the American tour, like a month ago or something, I got a guitar that my tech opened up the case and said, oh, good, I got my guitar back, you know.
What?
And the guitar wasn't the one I've had for 30 years. I know that guitar like no one does, and it's you can't tell the difference. There's no difference. There's the same scratches, the same rust, same weight, same
sticker.
Everything. I mean, it's just scary, man.
Same sticker.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. I mean, it's just wow, you know.
So, Yngwie, what's up with Rising Force Records? Are you currently looking for people for that label? Or are you focused?
Eventually, that will happen. Because we have the whole facility, I had the whole thing with studios, and I got it all, you know. So that's something that probably will happen in the future. Right now, we've only had a new album out for a month or something like that. So obviously, that's the focal point right now. We have other things coming out in the next year, live things, little different versions of songs, back catalog stuff, all that stuff's coming out. And then eventually also, if I hear or see something that's really, really good, sure, I'll produce it, you know, I'll put it out.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not the focal point for the moment. I mean, the exact moment. But yeah, sure, it'll happen, yeah. So
when you look back and, you know, you listen to some you know, demos or whatever you've done, maybe back even in the late 70s in Sweden, or maybe when you came over here with Steeler and Alcatraz and stuff like that, and then you listen to your newer stuff, are you happy with sort of the... you know, the spin, the evolution, or whatever your music has taken?
Well, you know, the thing is this, that my personality is I have this kind of personality that failure is not an option.
Yeah.
In my world, you know. Failure is not an option. Compromise is not an option. You know, halfway is not an option. It's all or nothing, and that's the way it is. And I've always had that philosophy and that approach to whatever I do. But obviously, being in certain different states during my life, it's come out differently. So I think it's all okay. It's not, I mean, obviously I would say, yeah, I could do that better now. I could do it differently now. But that was then, and that is then, and that should stay that way. So yes, I'm happy.
What's the best guitar player that you've ever played with? You know, like on tour. You ever have ever have like a friendly rivalry with any other guitar virtuoso?
Well, no, I never really done that. I played with what I consider the best guitar players ever. You know, Alan Holdsworth, Eldon Miola, Brian May, Uli, Ritchie. I played with them all. I played with Steve Morris. I played with you name it. I played with them. But you know, Page, all those guys. But I never had it. I never felt like it was a competition. You know.
No, I mean, yeah.
Satriani,
friendly.
You know, Sean, Petrucci. I played with them all.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I meant like friendly. You know, jocular kind of competition. Go up on stage, give the fans some dueling guitar stuff.
Well, we did in G3. We kind of did that. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I never really. I always thought of it. It's kind of silly, but people look at it like a sport. You know. I mean, even having said that, you know, even if it was a sport, you know, I maybe I should be pretty happy with that because I'm always kind of like high up on it, you know. But the thing is, I don't look at it that way. You know, it's an art form, and it's everybody has to see it their way, you know.
What is your favorite personal solo from your catalog?
I don't have one.
No?
No. I think my favorite solo is the one I did last night. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because when I play a solo, I don't play a solo written out. I play just from, you know, improvised, yeah? So on stage, I will do a different solo every night, you know? I'd say that the piece that I find the most demanding and challenging piece I've ever done is Capriccio di Diablo. That thing is like ridiculous. I really pushed myself all the way out on that one.
Yeah, that's on the Rock Band too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
For the young fans out there that want to go check that out.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
and Red Devil.
There were 3 on there total, I believe.
Right.
I want to let me ask you one more question for the fans before we wrap it up. What's on your iPod right now, Yngwie? What's on your iPod right now?
iPod. I don't have an iPod.
What are you listening to these days?
Let me see. I'm in the car. Let's see what I got in here. I can see that. I have an album by Dream Theater that Mike Portnoy gave me when I was up doing the Eddie Trunk show. And I have an old mix of one of my songs. I don't listen too much to music. But it'll be Bach, Purple, Queen, you know, stuff like that.
The good stuff. Right on. Well, hey, Yngwie, do you have any last words for the fans out there? Anything you want to say before?
All I can say is I'd like to say thank you to everybody, and check out Perpetual Flame. The new record I'm very happy with it. I hope you guys like it, and I can't wait to come out on tour again in the States. And God bless you, Merry Christmas and everything, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks to Bjorn from In Flames and Koch Records for setting it up for us. So The Mirror's Truth, the EP out now, in stores everywhere, debuted Bjorn at number 28 on the Billboard 200, which is pretty much unheard of for a independent metal album around here. So obviously you guys are doing quite a few things right. So anything you want to say to the fans real quick before we get going?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody that actually picked up the CD, and especially people that show up at the shows as well, because that really shows a lot of support, and that's where we really have the best time. So
cool. Let me give a quick little shout to your websites here, inflames.com. Obviously, the MySpace is .com/inflames, and then there's also jesterhead.com for the fan site.
Mm-hmm.
So again, thanks for taking a moment to talk with me today. You guys are touring out west right now, right?
Yeah, we're actually in San Francisco right now. I just woke up when we were in San Francisco, so it's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, who are you guys playing with right now?
We're with 36 Crazy Fists, Gojira from France, and All That Remains.
Oh, excellent. Are the fans digging it? They coming out hard?
Yeah, it's been really good. Way better than expected, actually, because we heard, like, you know, touring right now is kind of tough. There's a lot of bands, and, you know, with the recession and everything, people don't have money for tickets. It hasn't at all been like that. So I've been really happy. A lot of people there, a lot of people that are really into what we're doing, all the bands. And I think most people are really happy with the way that we actually mixed it up and have such a diverse lineup.
Right, like cross genres and stuff like that, and all your bills, right?
Just a little bit, but still, it's enough to make it interesting all the way, and that's what I like to see when I go to a show as well.
Right. Hey, what's the tightest alliance you guys have formed from these years of touring? I mean, you guys have toured with some of the best: Judas Priest, Motorhead, Slayer. I mean, the list goes on. You must have some pretty good stories, eh?
Oh well, I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, as you said yourself, I mean, we've toured with all the bands that I grew up listening to, also all the bands that I'm listening to now, pretty much. So, I mean, obviously bands like Slayer and doing shows with Metallica and Maiden are right up there. It's like the coolest things, you know. And yeah, I couldn't say other than I'm extremely happy with what we have achieved and where we are right now. And I can just see a very bright future if we continue like this.
And there's a whole other generation of bands coming up, playing the shows before you guys come on stage that are probably saying the exact same thing that you just said about the bands that you looked up to.
Yeah, perhaps, I don't know. We're getting up there age-wise, but I don't know, fame-wise.
The Mirror's Truth EP, of course, came out on the heels of A Sense of Purpose, which was a full-length LP released out in Europe. And, of course, the track The Mirror's Truth is what really blew the EP sky high up here in the States. What's your favorite track from the latest EP with the 3 new songs not included on the LP?
Well, the 3 songs that are there mostly didn't fit on the album because of timing and space, basically. We didn't want to make a too long album.
Right.
So, but they're written in the exact same way as everything else on the CD, on the Sense of Purpose CD. So basically it was a coin toss what songs would be left out. And so all these songs are really fun to play. It's just that we didn't have, since they weren't on an album, we didn't really play them that much live. We're doing Eraser right now, and that's a lot of fun to play. It's a nice tempo to it and very groovy riffs in it. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good song to really get your head moving to.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, obviously, Björn, In Flames in 1993 with your first album. And then you guys, of course, had a few lineup changes going through the late 90s. So really, how has the band sort of come along creatively in the last 15 years, in your opinion?
I think in the beginning, the first ever recordings, actually the first 2 albums, Luna Strain and Subterranean, which is more of an EP, they were just projects. There was no real lineup. There was different band members especially on the Subterranean one. There was 2 different drummers. There were different singers. There was a lot of things going on back then. So it was more of a project. When me and Anders joined right after they did Subterranean, that was a lot of things happened. Obviously, we started tuning down. The lyrics started to have a different meaning. A lot of things happened to the sound because we sound different than the different project guys. And we started forming what was to be In Flames, and we started touring a little bit. And that's where we found out that both Johan and Glenn, who was the original bass and guitar player, they weren't really cut out for touring. So we had to find people that were. And that didn't take us very long at all. We found Peter and we found Daniel, and that's the same lineup that's been now for over 10 years. And that shows that it's the right chemistry within the band, and it also shows that the songs that we write, that everybody has their input in them, because everybody's really happy playing the shit live.
Right on, Bjorn. And that kind of leads me to my next question from Delon at the Lamb of God forum. He asked, what really prompted you guys to start experimenting with all the atmospheres and textures in your recordings now? Because, it's not, you guys definitely sort of broke a couple molds.
Yeah, well, we get a lot of flack for doing things like that, but at the same time, we're the ones that need to play this stuff. We need to be really interested in what we're doing and stay on our toes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would be very comfortable and really selling out, listening to what people say that we should do instead. But there's no time or space for that, because the 5 of us we're the ones creating, and we're the ones that needs to be up there on stage and enjoy what we're doing. So trying new stuff, if that's what it takes, that's what we're going to do,
So you guys have just sort of evolved creatively as you're going to evolve as musicians. You get better, and you just simply have gone down this route as originality really has dictated. Awesome.
Yeah, it's extremely important for us.
Awesome. Well, hey, you guys always have really neat artwork, and I always notice this on bands' merch and booklets and stuff like that. I asked someone about this last week. Who's responsible for that from your guys' part? Who created the Jester head idea and everything and the logo?
Actually, that was from the Jester Race CD that we did. It just came out like a symbol on the front of the tank, which is sort of the front piece of the CD cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just such a cool thing to have, so we started using that for merchandise and for like future releases and stuff as well, just to have, our own Eddie or like that.
And what about all the animation inside? Some of your album covers have had really cool pictures inside them. Do you guys have an artist that you work with? A lot of bands do that.
Well, we've had several artists over the years. We had Andreas Marshall did the Jester Head, Jester Race, and Oracle. Colony actually as well. And then I don't really remember who did the Clayman cover. That was somebody else though. But it's always been in collaboration with us, mostly with Anders, because he usually has some meaning with his lyrics that he wants to portray. And after that, we went to Niklas Sundin. He did a couple of covers for us. He did Route to Remain. He did Soundtrack. And then we did, let's see, was it Come Clarity that we used? The same guy that did for Sepultura. I did a couple of later ones. Very cool guy. And for the last one now was Alex Party. And all of this still has been, together with Anders. He throws a couple of ideas his way, the artist's way, and the artist reads the lyrics and get to know the songs and try to find the essence of what Anders is thinking about. So it's been, it's a collaboration thing, but it's been with different people. We don't want to get stuck in the same mold, and that's what we changed a couple of times over the years.
So let it be known to everyone out there listening that when you buy an In Flames album, you're not just getting one sort of creative flow. You're getting a couple mediums at you at once. You're getting the visual, you're getting the audio, you're getting the full range.
Yeah, it's the full range. That's how we roll.
Well, hey, let me get a quick little background on you. At what point did you know, Bjorn, that your life was going to come down to the music career? Was there one moment that something happened and you're like, that's it. In Flames is my life. Music is my life.
Actually, I never had any plans, any serious plans on doing anything, because it was always been only music in my head. I grew up listening to so much, and I started playing fairly early, and started working a little bit as a music teacher on a youth center, sort of helping kids and even grown-ups how to sort of play together in bands. And I never planned for anything. I went to school as an electrician, but that was mainly because my bandmates at that time and friends were going to that school, just so we could hang out more and jam more. That's the only reason why I did that. So there's never been any doubt that this is what I wanted to do. But there came a time when I realized that it's actually possible to put some food on the table during this. And that time was, perhaps 10 years ago. And that's when we really started touring properly, and that's when I understood that you can turn this passion into something fruitful, something that I can do all the time, and that's probably 10 years ago. But to be able to do music, it's been the only option for me, really.
Yeah, to be able to, combine, like you said, putting food on the table with your passion. So few people actually get to do that in the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a dream, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad to hear you singing the praises there. Let's get back to In Flames just for a moment before I let you go here. Now, obviously, you guys, first of all, you're credited from Gothenburg. What a perfect name for a death metal band. What a fitting name for a home city. But so how do you compare, this sort of fragmented music scene that we have in the States with what's going on in Sweden? Because I'm sure a lot of people listening right now aren't familiar with the music scene in Sweden. What do you see as far as fragmentation here compared to, whatever's mainstream there? Because everything's so broken up here.
Well, I really couldn't say, because most of the people that we tour with or that we see at shows, they are touring all over the place. I think very few bands that we tour with are local here. They tour all over. They do Canada, they do probably Mexico, and they do the whole of the U.S. So I don't really see the fragmentation. You can see a slight difference in audiences. Out here on the West Coast, everybody's in the band, sort of.
Yeah.
And on the East Coast, everybody's into a band, that's different. So, and it feels a little bit more hardcore on the East Coast than it does on the West Coast. A bit more laid back. Way more image over here on the West Coast, I think. But it's really, really different. If you're up in Canada, that audience is very different from the American audience, for instance, even though there's only a border in between.
Yeah,
it's a very big difference between different audiences. So.
In what way? What do you see from the Canadian audiences?
You see a more European way, more football chants, or soccer chants. You see younger kids Very mixed as well. A lot of girls at the shows as well. That has changed over the years in the U.S. as well. It's getting way better, or more of that, which is good because it gives a different vibe to the live show. Because it's not only big dudes with shaved heads and big beards bouncing around at each other.
Yeah,
it's a different vibe and a lot of jumping around, having fun, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, those big guys hurt when they fall on you. When a woman falls on you, it's a little bit more not as bad of a thing. Here working here at WNYO, obviously at a college station, we see the disparity and from show to show. I mean, every hour someone comes in with a completely different kind of music. So I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of a take there from you. Hey, what bands are you listening to these days, Bjorn? What's on your iPod or CD changer?
Oh, it's the classics still. It rarely passes a day or two without me listening to some old, like either Rainbow or Dio or Sabbath or Purple, because that's how I grew up. That's my life juice right there. But there's other bands, newer bands. I really like Muse, for instance. I like Despised Icon, which is a extremely heavy and technical death metal from Canada. Well, there's all sorts of music on my iPod. You'd be surprised if you checked it out, probably.
Right on. Well, hey, it's variety's the spice of life, so you gotta.
Yeah.
Hey, any comments, Bjorn, for the fans out there listening who are going to stream this online later? Any news that you guys are sort of making your circles around the Oregon Trail out west? What's going on with In Flames that might not be on the web yet?
Well, I think most of it is usually on the web. As soon as we say something, it's out there, pretty much, which is cool. That means that people pay attention and are actually interested in what we say or do. But yeah, we got quite a lot of touring coming up next year as well, and that includes the U.S. as far as I know. I do not know any dates or anything like that, but we're trying to fit as much as possible in, because we're going to do a sort of around-the-world trip now. We're going to do South America, Australia, Japan. We're going to do Great Britain. We're going to do Europe. Everything is up there in the air, but we have plans to do all that. So, I mean, next time we're around, make sure you guys check it out before. See whatever we have on our webpage. Check out songs on the MySpace. If there's anything you like, come see the show. See if you like it even better.
Yes, you mentioned websites. It seems like sometimes things run websites before they've actually happened, but I guess that's another story for another day. Well, hey, Bjorn, thanks a lot for talking to me today. I got one more quick little question for you, and it's sort of something we briefly touched on earlier. Obviously at this point, you guys, In Flames have influenced a small library worth of bands from Killswitch, As I Lay Dying, the Murder Dolls. As I Lay Dying specifically made reference to you guys. So who is really the influence for, the In Flames sound, because you guys have really sort of extended a plank between metalcore and new metal for those fans to sort of walk on and meet at a common place. And now people have a new term for you guys called melodic death metal. Who should we really credit with helping to influence you guys?
Oh, wow. I think that, as you said before, diversity, I think that really helped, that we all listen to so very different music styles. Yeah. We're not really stuck on just death metal or just Iron Maiden. We listen to everything, and that gives us a lot of freedom to write pretty much whatever's in our heads. We always try to melody is obviously the most important thing, melody and dynamics and some sort of aggressiveness. We all like metal,
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that really limits us. Anything else is possible. We can always do that. But there were bands in the past that recorded in certain studios that we really were influenced by. At the Gates, the last At the Gates album was recorded. Slaughter of the Soul was recorded in Studio Fredman, and that was the obvious choice for us to record there because we love that sound. Now, At the Gates have their sound. Nobody ever is going to sound like them, and it's pretty much the same thing with us. We have our sound now. That's something that we cultivated and created over many years of touring and many recordings. And, everybody's individual, and I think we are too now. So influences is really hard to tell. I mean, it can be anything. Sound-wise, there were many bands building this Gothenburg sound, whatever people like to call it. You had Dark Tranquillity, you had At the Gates, you had, basically all the bands that were playing around or in Gothenburg at the time, or recorded in Studio Fredman, rather. That's a lot of reason for the sound.
Right, yeah, you guys, I mean, have just you guys have clearly found your ground, your space, and just evident by how many fans hit the message board when Ralph from our studio here at NYO put that there was going to be an interview with you guys on. Just how many people came and commented things. Obviously, I only had time for one of the questions, but it just shows that you guys have certainly found that zone that you talked about, that cushion of originality that you're comfortable with, and you guys are obviously doing great things with it. And I congratulate you guys for all your success. Hey, Bjorn, can you do one more thing for me real quick? Can you just give a quick plug? Say, hey, this is Bjorn from In Flames. You're listening to WNYO?
WNYO?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hi, this is Bjorn from In Flames, and you're listening to WNYO.
Thank you very much, man. That was perfect. And thank you so much for the interview, and I wish you guys the best on your West Coast tour. You're going to Europe soon, too, right?
We're going back to Europe. We just did the whole European leg right before this U.S. tour, so we'll be there. We'll be back over Christmas, just taking it easy.
All right. Thank you very much. Buz McGrath from Unearth, guitar player, joining us today. Thanks for calling in. I know you have a busy schedule, getting ready to go out to Europe.
Yep.
Leaving tomorrow, right?
Thursday.
Where's your first stop, Berlin?
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, the March in stores now. From Unearth, fourth studio album. We've been spinning it here whenever we can. I think Letting Go is my favorite track. I like the throbbing bass drum. Sounds sort of like a old school hardcore track.
Yeah, man, that's a fun track, man. We did that with like an 8-string tuned to G. It has like a real crowbar vibe to it, and it's got that weird Space Odyssey section in the middle. A little different for us, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and Crow Killer starts off with that. You guys like to have that solo and double bass drum thing start things off, kind of get the mosh pits going.
Yeah, we locked that up pretty good. It's kind of a nice headbanging good time, I suppose.
You guys are tight. Formed in '98, right?
Yes.
Over in Mass.
Yep.
Well, hey, take us through the process of recording what is your fourth studio album, and how mounting expectations. If they did with you guys, take an effect when it comes to how you guys approach your studio process.
Basically, it's like we kind of just want to, I guess, outdo ourselves a little bit. We did something last, for the previous record, and we kind of look at our previous records and think about what we were unhappy with, if there was anything with the previous albums that we were unhappy with, and try to change them or make certain things not happen again, and I guess try not to repeat ourselves. I mean, it's hard because we definitely have it's definitely at this point in our career where we have our sound and what it is, so you want to try to keep it fresh, and just not really repeat yourself and just be on Earth, but not the same on Earth as always.
Right. Plus, at the same time, I mean, there's so many bands that sort of are copying that the metalcore mold that a lot of bands like you guys form. So you definitely, like you said, look back and you see what other people aren't doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cool that, when bands mention that they're influenced by us, it's really cool to hear that, But, I mean, like you said, there is a lot of bands out there, I mean, just kind of, going for that particular quote-unquote metalcore sound. I don't think it's more prevalent these days, because there's more of the deathcore thing going on, which is kind of hot. But, with, metal... metal hardcore stuff. There's a lot of bands doing it, and I think the bands who have, who did it well are still here and are still enjoyable to listen to. And a lot of the bands who just kind of latched onto it because it was a hot scene at the moment have fallen off.
Well, hey, you mentioned influences. Who? I was watching a YouTube clip of you playing an 8-string guitar. Where'd you learn how to play one of those?
I was just when I switched to a 7-string guitar, I learned that, and then Ibanez put out an 8-string, and I just started playing that. It's just an extra string. I guess it just kind of takes a minute to get used to it, and then once you're into it, you're flying,
Yeah. You guys toured with Slayer on the Christ Illusion tour last year. What was that like?
Dude, that was a dream come true, man. It was, Slayer's. I've been a big fan of Slayer since, I can remember. So it was definitely a nice goal to have accomplished to go on the road with them.
Yeah, they've been around pretty much my whole life, in charge of the scene.
Yeah.
What nation? Wait, I know the Christ Illusion tour got out to Europe. What nation's fans are most rabid? I heard Norway is always a fun place to play.
Yeah, I mean we didn't go overseas with them. We just did the States. But as far as areas with the craziest fans, I'd have to say definitely anywhere in South America or Mexico, as people are bananas about heavy metal down there. So when you go down there, it's always like Rockstar stuff. Like people chase your van and like wait out your hotel. It's really a trip.
Yeah, I mentioned already you're big on Ibanez. You record with the 7-string guitars. How many years or months did it take before from the garage stages to the point where you could do seemingly anything you want to do on guitar, like apparently you can now? What's the?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I could do anything I want. It's like, hold on a second. Sorry, my dog was about to take a shit in someone else's yard. I guess I wouldn't say that I could do anything I want. I mean, I made a decision to step up my playing, a few years back, because I never really was into like practice routines and stuff. I just kind of did what I did, and then one day I was like, you know what, I want to see how far I can take this, and I really dedicated myself to to practicing, and it was like a couple hours a day for 4 years, to the point where my level increased on certain techniques. So it's just all about how much time do you have to commit to it, and are you willing to do that? Anybody can do it.
And I'm sure the band brings out the best in you too after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, playing live is definitely helps your playing too, because you can sit and practice in your room all day, but if you can't get up there, and I mean, no one can teach you how to rock. So like, if you got to get up there and play that stuff live, and it's like you're all tense because it's live and it's like high energy. So it's definitely a different environment for playing guitar altogether. So there's that arena of playing that has to be practiced as well.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a baptism by fire that first time you play a show in front of diehard metal fans when they're 17 or 18 years old, however, and you kind of stand up there and you're looking out on people and they're expecting you to to bring it, and you're wondering if you
it's a scary situation.
Wondering if you have what it takes. Well, hey, what about as a songwriter? What are some influences there?
Songwriting, I mean, I guess from a standpoint of like, I don't know, I'm influenced by songs that are simple, like I'm into, getting your point across, like In Flames does it well, just not a lot of clutter. So you get a nice opening riff, a verse riff, chorus riff, then maybe a big moment of like a, guitar stunt or like maybe some sort of percussive breakdown. But these days I'm into more of the simpler arrangement styles of music,
Yeah. Well, hey, Unearth, obviously on Metal Blade, your first DVD, Alive from the Apocalypse, came out in March, and The March, your new album, dropped last month, and it was produced by Adam from Killswitch. What was it like working with him?
He's awesome, man. We've done a couple of other projects with him. We did our Oncoming Storm with him and our first full-length, The Stings of Conscience. So, we definitely were excited to work with him again. He knows kind of better than anyone, like, how to get those ideas from our heads into the hands, to the guitar, out of the amp, and into your ears, So he's definitely good at helping us achieve the sound we want to achieve. When we're in the studio with him, he's like the sixth member of the band. It's like we're, having a good time, getting creative. And, he's fun to work with, too, because it's constantly, like, goof fest, somehow work gets done. I don't know how, because we're usually just, sitting around drinking beer or, just making fart jokes. So it's pretty crazy in there sometimes. But, hey, we get it done somehow, so it's cool.
Well, hey, Buzz, thanks again for joining me today on the air. I know you guys have a very busy schedule. I'll get you out of here on this. I hear a lot of stuff about my favorite bands from, the 90s or whatever breaking up. Musicians going on, they decide they want to, invent a new barbecue sauce or whatever. And, but with Unearth, obviously, the synchronicity's still there after all these years. What's contributed to your guys' longevity, staying pertinent after all these years?
I think it's like all of us just feel like that this is what we were here to do. We do this better than anything else, that we've ever done. So and I think you have several people who are trying to achieve the same goal and are on a mission to do it. So like when you get a lot of things have to line up in order for a band to, to stay relevant and to, just to stay around and survive. So I think a lot of things lined up for us, a little bit of good luck, hard work and the mentality and the drive of the people in the band will keep it going as long as all those things are there.
Hey, Buzz, someone confronts you and they ask you, best guitar solo you've ever heard. What's your answer?
I'm going to have to say Stairway to Heaven.
All right, Buz McGrath.
Solo at the end of that rips.
Buz McGrath from Unearth, thank you very much for taking the time from your busy schedule to come and spend some time with me here today. I wish you guys all the best over in Europe. And we're going to continue to spin your records. In fact, do you want to announce My Will Be Done as we exit here?
Sure. You want me to say name and the band and my Will Be Done?
Sure. Unearth on WNYO, My Will Be Done. You ready?
Yep, WNYO.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? This is Buzz from Unearth. You're listening to WNYO, and this is My Will Be Done.
All right, Buzz. Thank you very much, buddy.
Take it easy, bro.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, Dan?
Nothing much. Thanks for taking the time today. The day your album drops.
No problem, man.
Really appreciate it.
Earlier, but I guess the line was busy or something.
Yeah, we have conflicting things going on here. We had a sports show going on. We have Wrestle for Time in here. But
okay.
Hey, thanks again for taking the time. Of course, Death Rituals today, the 10th album coming out. SFU420.com for those of you out there who want to go check out 6 Feet Under on the web. Chris, let me start by asking, what can the fans expect on this album that you guys are going to give them on Commandment last year?
A new set of songs. Really. Basically, we just, it's our new album and a new group of songs. So I don't really look at it like that, man. I think that's a colorful way the media try to portray things. I think the fans kind of just look away from that kind of stuff, man. It's more about just the music, man. It's new music. It's a new group of songs. It's a really good album, a real strong album by us, and we're really glad to put it out, and hopefully the fans will like it.
Yeah, we put Cedar Filth on the voluntary movement of Dead Flesh in last night. Cedar Filth is a single. It sounds awesome. I know you guys shot a video last month at the end of it. What was that like? I haven't seen it yet. How'd that go?
Yeah, I just got the first cut of it today, so I wouldn't expect anyone to see it yet. It isn't out, so we're going to put it out probably here in the next few weeks. So it looks really good, man. I'm really happy with it.
Cool. I saw producer of this album, Chris Carroll. I'm not familiar with his work. What was his vibe like?
Well, actually, Chris Carroll didn't produce it. I produced the record, and Chris Carroll's a longtime friend, and he's been our studio engineer, and he works with us in the live situations too, live tours and stuff. So yeah, I actually produced this record.
Well, we produced the last couple as well. That was my next question, with the direction away from it. But how about touring plans?
We're really starting to look at touring right now. We're kind of getting some offers here and there for some tours. So we'll be putting some stuff together real soon.
Excellent. Any bands you guys think you'd be going out with?
Oh, like I said, we're just starting to get offers now, so we really don't have any ideas for that yet.
All right, you guys obviously in Tampa. How's the hometown treating you guys? What's the vibe like down there?
Oh, it's great. We love it.
Of course, talking to Chris Barnes, the lead singer of 6 Feet Under, and again, thanks for taking the time today, and obviously really appreciative of Metal Blade for setting up the interview on the day our album comes out. Again, very grateful for this. Well, Chris, tell for the poor children listening who don't know SFU, why should they drop everything they're doing right now and run and pick up Death Rituals at the store?
Oh well, if you're a fan of 6 Feet Under, you'll definitely enjoy this new album. It's got a certain vibe to it, just like all the others, and certain personality. And I think if you enjoy our music, you'll enjoy the new CD.
Right on. Hey, what are you listening to these days? What bands in your CD changer or iPod?
Actually, not too much, man. I just been really working hard on on getting this record out, and putting this whole CD together for the past year has been a really great journey, and I'm really excited to hear what the fans are thinking about it. It's like I said, it's been a long trip with this one, and it's been a lot of fun. So I really like the CD, and it's slowly what I've been doing is really writing and getting this done. I haven't really had time to listen to what other people are doing.
What's your favorite song on the new album?
I like them all. They're really like always. They each have a certain meaning and kind of has personality to me. So each song's really kind of has something some interesting aspect to it for me as far as where it comes from as far as how I write things and stuff. So I mean, I really don't have a favorite actually. So
what's motivating your lyrics these days?
Just my own imagination as usual.
What about the artwork on? You guys always have such awesome artwork on your albums. Who does that? Are you involved with that?
Yeah, I come up with the concepts, and I have an artist. His name is A.M. Keratins. He's been working on the past, like 5 or 6 releases that we've done.
Now let's look at everything kind of from the broad spectrum. You obviously were a lead singer of Cannibal Corpse in 1994. Obviously, you created a beast with that project.
Well, actually, through 95.
95. Okay, I'm sorry. How do you look back on on your Cannibal days and compare it to the broad scheme of your career? You feel like you've come around full circle?
I don't really know what that means, man. I look back on the time that I spent with those guys as a really great time, and I'm really proud of all the work I did with them, all the songs we wrote together, and all the albums we did together, and like I said, I'm really proud of all those times, and really proud of being involved in the inception of a certain style of music, that being death metal, and the invention of something that never kind of existed before. Cannibal Corpse and myself, all us guys, we really kind of brought something into the forefront, and especially into the underground that hadn't been done before and hadn't really been kind of done that way before. So I'm real proud of that, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, to clarify what I meant by that, I feel everything you said there. Technically and musically, was there something, was there any sort of evolution in your opinion from a creative standpoint, things that you're doing now, that maybe the fans would be interested to think that, you weren't doing in the past, was there any, more liberties with SFU or just, evolutions that you wanted to...
Okay, I just didn't get, some full circle. I didn't equate that to, evolution or something. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
No, wow. I really approach everything the same way as I've always done as far as writing goes, as far as my approach vocally and lyrically goes. I really have stuck to the same formula and writing approach since day one, since I first started writing lyrics and singing in a band, and that's really, listening to the music, and because I usually write lyrics and vocal parts to a finished track of music, a demo of a new song, and then I'll write lyrics to that. And so I really listen to the music and let it speak to me, and in that way I kind of, accommodate it with a certain vocal style, a certain vocal tone, a certain lyric, a certain storyline that I feel fits, So that's really how my approach has always been. And I really just take it one song at a time when I write, and I don't really think about it too much. I really think about it more or less as the first song I've ever written. So I don't I try not to, think about anything I've done before or anything I'll do in the future. I just concentrate on what I'm doing right then.
Right on, Chris. Thanks for the genuine answer there. Much appreciated. And again, thank you for the time, Chris Barnes from SFU, taking the time to speak to us today. And thanks again to Metal Blade for setting it up. Obviously, Death Ritual is out in stores today, the 10th studio album for 6 Feet Under. I'm going to let you get out of here on this, Chris. What's the one thing you hope listeners, take away from the experience of seeing SFU live, listening to your new album, for example? What's the drive behind the effort of SFU right now?
Well, it's actually our 8th studio record.
Well, you had two cover albums, though, right?
Yeah, but I mean that really doesn't count. I mean it's our 8th record of original material, pretty much. So we've done tons of releases, But what drives us? We really just enjoy doing this, man. It's really something that we really enjoy doing. I love writing new music. It's my favorite part of being in a band, is writing and going into the studio and making a new album. So that's just really what drives us. It's a lot of fun.
Did a fan ever come up to you and voice their appreciation? What was the most memorable thing a fan in response has ever said to you guys?
Oh, I think the most memorable thing a fan's ever done is while we were playing on stage, I'd spit on the stage and some kid crawled up on the stage and ate it.
That's devotion right there.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty memorable.
Hey, thanks again, Chris Barnes, so much for spending the time. Can I ask you one quick favor? Can you do a little plug for us? Can you say, hey, this is Chris from SFU, listening to WNYO Oswego?
WNYO Oswego.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Good luck with everything. Good luck with the upcoming tour. We'll check the websites for that, sfu420.com. And again, good luck with Death Rituals out in stores today.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thanks, Chris. Bye. WNYO 88.9 FM. Dan here, taking you to noon. I am here with Andrei from Soulsilens, from soulsilens.com, myspace.com/soulsilens. New band, touring internationally, trying to get their name out. Say hi, Andrei. What's your message to the prospective fan base out there up here in upstate New York?
Hey, hello everybody in New York. How's it going? This is Andrei Soulsilens here, and one thing I always tell everybody, let's rock.
Right on. HeavyMetalNation.com should also feed this interview pretty soon. Your guys' first album, Several Feelings, is out on Amazon.com right now if you want to pick it up. What's the message from that first album, Andrei, and where are you guys kind of moving now as far as the theme of your music?
Well, we first recorded it in 2004. That was a pretty long ride to get into the recording of that album. So even though that's definitely not the best album we will always have, I guess that the next one, all the albums coming up right now in 2009 are going to be different and better in several ways. But Several Feelings is such a special album because it took so long for us to realize that dream. It's like a dream come true. So being a dream come true for me as an artist, I would like to pass that into my fans and just realize your dreams. Just go for it, even if it takes 10, 20, 25, 30 years. Keep going towards it. It's so much worth it. It's invaluable. Like when you realize a dream, when you have that materialize into your hands, that you can barely explain that. There's no words for describing that feeling, that moment, and that's forever. It's not a 1 second deal. It's a 100-year deal. As long as you're alive, you get that in your hands, in front of you. You think about that, and you're just like, wow, that's such a wonderful feeling. So realize your dreams. That's not exactly the message in the songs, but in a whole album, like in a contest, I would just say, just go for your dreams, for everybody, no matter how old you are, too.
And you have the new album, perspective material being advertised on your website. When should we expect to see that?
Well, I'm actually right now, I'm officially mixing all the tracks. It's I didn't want to say that before, but I guess it's pretty good to do it now because it's pretty fact. I'm gonna release a double record, my first double record for the international market. It's gonna be English songs, and it's going to be 22 songs for the beginning. You should expect that for at least the first half of 2009. I believe I'll be able to release that. For an independent artist, it's tough to say we're going to release in June 1st, because there's budget involved, and there's a lot of people you're going to start working, and then you're going to have to stop because they don't work well, and several other options that you might have to choose to get a better deal for your fans. So it's tough to say exactly when, but I guess in the first half of 2009 I'm going to be able to release it. And I'm doing my first EP, which is going to be probably 4 songs in Portuguese, my language, my country for Brazil. Well, many other countries speak Portuguese, but it's going to be target here for the first time. So it's going to be 4 more songs, so I'm going to be releasing 26 songs. And I know some Americans dig a lot of different music in other language, so that's why I'm mentioning this too.
Yeah,
so for the first half of 2009, we should be coming up with several things. Plus, I did a song with a rapper called Giovanni from Delaware, up on near Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, near where I used to live.
Yeah,
and the song's called "Walk with Me." We got top 10 in several radios in the U.S., but we didn't release the song officially yet. So we're going to be recording a video for this song and releasing in 2009 in the first half too. So there's a lot of things coming up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It looked like there were a couple lineup changes on your website as far as the band personnel was concerned. Is the Giovanni combination going to stick with you? Is Walk With Me sort of, indicative of the kind of album that you guys are going to make, or is it going to be more raw rock sounding like the previous stuff you've released?
Well, I can answer that with a few answers. The first one, Giovanni was just an adventure for both of us. We met through our marketing agent, and that was just an idea. He had a song, and I had the will for a partnership music-wise, and we just talked. He sent me the track. I did it. We got together. I don't know how it happened, but the mentality and the ideas matched and so perfectly, and the song came out effortless. I mean, we worked for it, but I mean, it was so natural, and we were both amazed by the results of the song, and we didn't expect what happened. We expect something way smaller and not really significant for both careers. But it turned out to be an amazing song. Everybody liked it. Brazilian people loved it. Radios in U.S., even without releasing it, they just throw it on top 10. And we were just wow. So it might open spaces or areas for us to do more songs in the future. But right now, I think we're going to stick with this one because I want to stick with the rock. I'm going... For the several feelings, you can definitely get a grungy sound of my band. For now, I'm by myself. It's a pretty much solo career, but it's still with the same name. And but you can get more of the rock and roll, more of the vintage, the classic, more alternative, it's experimental. So I'm bringing some of the Brazilian rhythms into it too, my origins, my roots. And Giovanni's definitely going to release his album this year, too. I don't know when, but it's his area. So we're not matching, but there's definitely space for more partnerships, and not only with Giovanni, but some other artists. I'm always looking for some opportunity to do different music.
For people who are just tuning in, I'm talking to Andrei from a band called Soulsilens, Brazilian, internationally touring band, about to release their second album later in the year. Let's get into some lyrics now. And I noticed this from your website and from reading your stuff. There's a religious overtone in your music. Now, the song No Pain is one of the ones that stood out to me. I had another one in mind. You told me No Pain was one that you're currently still playing a lot. And I noticed that had a real spiritual connotation to it. Here's a couple lines from it. Coming down my soul and falling into a hole in my heart. What does that line mean? That right there. Let's start with that one. What are you saying with that?
I never explain really exactly what I say because I realize that people have different feelings and they get the song differently. But No Pain it's just, I can just go by the title and that explains those lines. everyone, if you're spiritual, well, how can I say that? If you're spiritually educated, or if you like this subject, or if you use this to move on into your life like I do, I think we all figured out to come here and just live without hurts, without sorrows, without sufferings, with no pain, exactly like that. Maybe this is not exactly what we figured, but that's what human beings would like to hear, like, hey, just live life with joy and happiness and no pain at all. And that's going to be a lot easier, so everyone's going to be happy, everyone's going to have whatever they want, and life is just going to be perfect. So I decided to do a song just to put this out. I was probably in a very sensitive moment, and I just had to put it out. And I came out with this. I figured my life with no pain, because it was hurting at the time. So for everybody that is in that I'm hurting moment in their life, that's probably a good song to listen to, or I don't know, sing along and just enjoy. Even though, like, I've been playing this song for the past 5 years, and pretty much for now, every time I play it, I have like a pretty good crowd singing it with me, singing along, and that's crazy, man. I didn't know how great it was to sing a song with people singing along.
What are three bands who mean more to you than they would to, say, me or anyone else? Who's sort of crafted what you do, your mindset.
I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what are three bands who mean more to you than they will for anyone listening right now?
I think the number one is Beatles. The Beatles, speechless, wordless. I mean, they just did what every guy probably dreams, every musician dreams to do. The second one, and could be the first. It's a pretty tough decision right there. It's Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
the
Elvis, the king.
He just did what everyone dreams to do too, right there. And the third one, it's tough to put one. It could be a combination of what I dream to do. So it would be Andrei Soulsilens with Nirvana and Led Zeppelin, and all right, that's enough right there. So that would be the third spot right there. I don't know if we could match the fame of Nirvana with the greatness of Led Zeppelin, and maybe the dreams of Andrei. That would turn out to be something close to the number one and number two spot.
Right on.
I just made a mess.
I'm rooting for you, man. Let me get into one more topic here with Andrei from Soulsilens. You had a interesting MySpace blog a little while ago about capitalism. You said you think it's going to go away at some point. And you do have a song that has some political connotation to it called Pollution, which we'll get into in a minute. But what did you mean by that blog there? Is international traveling, sort of? You probably get to see a lot of things, right?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things, and I've kind of looked at what society are doing and where society is today nowadays, and how money is helping or not helping. But money is just one thing, Now, we control the money, but actually money is controlling society right now, and that's something that doesn't happen. It's just like saying we can fly. Now, there's gravity. We have to stay in the ground. I mean, unless you build a device that kind of pushes you up, but you're not flying, you're not levitating by yourself. You're actually being propelled up. So money should not control humanity, and that's exactly what's happening now. People don't even know why they're going to college. They just want to make money. So I mean, come on, like you have to have dreams, otherwise your life doesn't make sense. Like there's a lot of young people committing suicide, going to drugs and stuff like that. Guess what? They don't have a dream. They're not bad. They're just like me and you and everybody else. They just don't have the dream. So that's not something you can say someone and they're like, oh, I got it now, I'm good. So that's something you have to be teaching society, your country, your people. So the governors and people itself have to kind of be looking to learn that. So there's got to be like a half and half. Someone do one thing and the other ones have to do the other half, And Pollution is a song that talks about pollution, but all types of pollution: the air pollution, the water pollution, mental pollution, visual pollution. So I'm working that song. That's the breaking news here. I'm not gonna say it's a yes or it's a no, but I'm working that song with Greenpeace. So my plan is to donate that song for them to use as their campaigns to for the young people, for them to be more conscious about nature, about their acts and their ideas, whatever they do. But Pollution is a song that pretty much describes that into a poetic, how can I say, into a beautiful way of beautiful language, saying, hey, we're messing this up, or something is wrong. So we're explaining pollution and saying about the pollution known to capitalism and everything else. I think the society and the mankind is going to have to come up with a solution for all these problems. Otherwise, the oceans are going to be pretty bad. Food is going to be away. The quality of air for our breathing is going to be away. So people are going to be sick and dying and stuff like that. And I don't want to see my next 2 or 3 generations just going through a totally chaos just because of what I could have done, And I think we should do it now, and it's an obligation. It's not a choice. And
so
for that reason, I think capitalism is going to have to change a little bit, because people should not go for Ferraris and stuff like that if they don't have a dream. It's okay to have a Ferrari, but you have to realize a dream. The Ferrari is going to be part of the realization of your dream, and not a must thing because you have to screw girls. It's everything has its right spot, and I think we should start learning to place that in the right spot.
Andrei, I think it's great that you're going to donate one of your more popular songs, right? Pollution. That's one of your big ones. I take it from your website. You've recorded that in a couple languages. If you're going to give that to Greenpeace to fight for a cause you believe in, I think that's great. I think that's what music is all about. And I guess we've reached the end here, Andrei. Anything else you want to say to the fans real quick, Andrei, before you hopefully plan something in upstate New York soon?
Well, I would like to say there's a lot of great music coming up, a lot of things that I'm searching for. My fans are always the best ones to give me ideas and new updates and advices and stuff, so I'm always open. Send me emails, messages, scraps, and everything you can do. I'm coming up to U.S. and touring, so just wait. There's a lot of rock and roll things coming up from me, and thank you for all the support and help from you guys. Then WNYO, I'm really happy to be talking to you guys today.